What's up? So for various reasons, you found yourself with lots of time on your hands. I was inspired recently by a book my brother recommended called Eat That Frog, 21 Great Ways to Stop Procrastinating and Get More Done in Less Time. I'm determined to stop being so lazy and to develop my storytelling and video editing skills by producing a weekly vlog. Arguably one of the most successful vloggers is Casey Neistat. If you have no idea, sorry I'm distracted by the dog. You'll see crazy kids and dog. My wife is gonna try to, yeah, there's Hayden. If you have no idea who Casey Neistat is, I'll link to some of my favorite videos in the description. Some of you have seen the video where Casey very briefly describes how he organizes the mountain of content that he captures every day. I only have about 374 gigs of photo and videos, close to 42,000 files. I'm no pro, so that's actually really low. I didn't capture that many photos before my wife and I bought a Canon XTI around Christmas of 2006, and video wasn't a priority until about 2010 when we got the iPhone 4 just before we adopted our son Hayden. Now that we're capturing more content, I want to show you how we're investing our spare time around the house these days to use a digital filing system that will make it much easier to find content later. Top level folders will include a stack of year, month, and day folders. For this present year, I also sort by the device used, just like Casey does, but content before 2020 is just being dropped into the day. I added the month number before the month title to help with sorting and spotting the current path. Most content prior to about 2006 lacks good metadata, so I do the best I can to remember when it was taken. We used to use Picasa to store content online back then, and I found so many older pics no longer have all of their metadata stored. Filing the old footage, some folders and file names have been filled in, and I'll leave it that way if it helps in the future. One trick that I picked up from bloggers in the past was to drop a text file or a Word document into the day folder with thoughts and details about what went down that day as a diary of sorts. That'll also help that'll also make it easier to use the Windows or Mac search function later. Speaking of Windows and Mac, I purposefully worked this system out to be platform agnostic, as I have 3 PCs in the house, a MacBook Pro, a Mac Mini, an iPad, an iPhone, and Android phones too. These devices, oh, GoPro?
Look at this.
Anyway, these devices are just tools to me, so tools. Oh, these devices are just tools to me, so I'm not loyal to anything, whatever works. Oh, you're wet. You're so wet. Once I filled in all the old content, by the way, once I filled in all the old content by the date, I'll then use Adobe Lightroom Classic to run a facial recognition scan across all the content in the photos and videos folder. I did that at work on over 20 gigs of content, making it easy to locate an appearance by an individual or even a group of individuals just by selecting their name. The hardest discipline for us to develop at home is to regularly plug up each device we've used at the end of each day and file the contents away. We avoided using any type of sync software in the phones because it typically leads to duplicate content. I then automatically sync everything to Dropbox. My Mac Mini has a 4 terabyte WD MyBook that serves as a local backup using Time Machine. When I outgrow my 2 terabyte Dropbox subscription, I can keep doubling that in my MyBook until it makes more sense to have some type of network area storage appliance here, but it would still make more sense to keep duplicates in the cloud. I'll also outgrow the M.2 drive in my wife's HP Spectre, our primary editing machine, so prices are falling on those. I can move from the 1 terabyte to a 2 terabyte likely next year. Selective sync is also an option for Dropbox if your main working drive runs low on space, but I'm syncing the whole lot until I can't anymore. I'm still working through how to file projects that are ongoing and those that aren't date specific. So I'll probably just leave a top level folder for creative projects. Turn off Dropbox Sync while you're editing video in that folder, or Premiere will keep giving you errors when you go to save. Batch recording is something that I'm learning more about every day. At the water and sewer utility where I work, we often go out and record footage of main breaks, sewer backups, and facility repairs for use in public education content later. Even if we don't have an immediate use for a shot, we take it just in case. At the least, we make staff spotlight videos quite often and love to focus on the work each employee does. Anyhow, if you're watching this in spring 2020, I hope that you're able to keep your rhythm and keep your peace. May we find ourselves celebrating victory soon and learning from any defeats. Thanks for your time. I'll see you next week.